Well, it's 10:30 p.m. Hopefully you know where your kids are. Hopefully not listen to this show off the rails. Alex, co-host, along with me is the Prime Minister of all the things that are sinister. His name is Greg Evil Bowen. Greg, how are you doing, sir?
Spectacular.
Now, I got to tell you, though, and it's put the camera on you, please.
Camera's on me.
Camera's on you. I do like the fact that you brought in a shirt that I don't think I've seen before. And I thought that I've seen you've had a lot of different shirts, so I figured at some point you don't have infinity number of shirts. I would not see a new one unless you went and bought it. Because here's the thing: there's I went and bought a new shirt, and then you wear it, and then I've had this shirt for a long, long time, and I've had that many shirts for a long, long time, and I'm wearing it because they don't just have that one just hanging out anymore. You know?
No, and if you look closely, you can tell this is an old shirt.
Yeah. Well kept, well maintained,
Yeah.
kept for the long haul. The fact that you had this thing sitting in the repertoire, I thought, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
I'm happy.
It's one of those that just doesn't come out all the time,
There's hope for the future, man. You never know what it's going to bring. At any rate. So, in doing this show, man, we never figure out exactly what you're going to talk about in every show. I mean, we kind of do, but we really don't. We try to go off the rails, but we talk politics anyway, though. But sometimes we just get longer in those things. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Something that's been bugging me for a while, but something that I didn't think enough to really make it a point to say is starting to come forward in the land politically.
Right.
And it happens every couple years. Something happens along these lines or whatever, right?
Right.
And it has to do with this whole Rand Paul thing. I think that if we're going to have any conversation about it, that everybody needs to be honest about it, right? Everybody needs to take an honest account, whether you support the guy or you don't support the guy. I think we all should be able to take an honest account as to where the guy is right now.
Okay.
And without being mean or derogatory or anything like that, have an honest assessment of where this guy's at right now. Because, in my opinion, and again, I only base this off of the people that I know that I've talked to, which I'm not going to name names or anything, but I've talked to people that know what's going on, at least have an idea.
Okay.
And can tell from the inside and the outside's perspective exactly what's going on. And whether they like it or not, this guy is running as more of an establishment Republican than he is a non-establishment Republican. What I mean by that is all the times that they got he's playing chess or he's signing this thing with Iran or he's doing this or he's just not taking the stands that he needs to take. Up there, he's just not doing all the things that we like him to do. Is he doing some good stuff? Absolutely is doing good stuff up there. Would not say that he's not doing good stuff. But when it comes to being president right now, you're going to give up Kentucky so you can try to run for this when you're going to run this kind of campaign? My problem isn't as much of even his ideology at this point as it is in the fundraising, in the activity of the campaign, as well as of the people locally, of where he's not on some issues, where he's in the back. Look, you can't argue with how Trump's doing right now. He's sucking the wind out from everybody, right? So are you in the running? Okay. I would think that you're probably there, though. But you got to look at the faults that are going on here. Look, the abandonment of the base has got to tell you something. Because it ain't just libertarians. That's the thing. It ain't like we all packed up and went home. You know what I mean? Everybody's out there doing stuff, trying to get things done. But the people all about Rand all the time, where are you? What are you doing? Because I don't see you doing squat. I don't see you doing a damn thing. And I know you're going to say, I'm going to the rec meetings, I'm going to these things. You know what, man? Didn't you guys try that strategy and it didn't work? Shouldn't you talk to the grassroots in those areas and not the rec meeting? You need to not go to those things. You need to go to everywhere else. You got to get this guy a win here in Florida. It's your job. You're in Florida. That's your job. And you know what? This guy's not doing you any favors. He ain't doing you a damn favor. And they're running a campaign like crap. And, honestly, all the grassroots is out of it. And you needed that in order to win. And if you're just going to take all that out, you might as well pack it up and go home. And here's the thing. If you think I'm wrong, then you tell me where your grassroots shit is. because I don't see it. You don't show me. I see more than I see about Rand Paul when it comes to the grassroots local stuff. See much more about Ted Cruz than Rand Paul. And you know what? I'm in enough places where I should see it. I see you guys spamming and trolling. I see you doing that. You know, you're spamming and trolling all day long. Where you're going, what you're doing. Because you ain't doing what you're doing, what you think. Because you ain't doing it. You're expecting. Like, don't you understand that even with the R next to your name, they're not going to help you? Like, don't you even understand that, though? Look, and I ain't happy about it. Look, at the end of the day, no matter what anybody says, because there's people that have even said this doesn't give me pleasure. I would rather you guys run a professional campaign, too. It'd be a great idea. You ought to have done it. And it ain't too late. You can get together right now and start getting this done grassroots style only because of Trump. Because eventually he's going to blow out. So if you can... You know, you still got a path possible. I mean, it's a lot less now, but you got a path. It's tough now, though. And your boy ain't helping you one little bit. He ain't doing shit for it. Honestly, he's screwing you up, man, half the time. He's taking stances in place he shouldn't. He's not going after the libertarian base. He's going after the Republican base, and he's tailored a campaign around doing that. He is going after the Republican base. Now, he might be leaning towards the liberty part of the Republican base, and that may be where he's trying to aim his message at, but it's a compromise between there and the establishment, not with there and us libertarians. You're closer to them than we would want you to be.
Would you say that he's taking for granted the liberty side of the Republican Party?
I don't think he gives a crap about it, to be honest with you, though. I still don't think he can. Look, maybe I'm wrong. I don't see the organization like you did with Ron. You didn't see that.
Well, that's
it's not there, though. It's just not there.
Well, the organization isn't there because I don't think the support is there like it was with Ron. I think that's the big difference is Ron had support that Rand doesn't have.
Look, Rand has a base, though. There is a base of people that are out there, and they are not organized at all. Not even a little bit. They're just not. I don't see. And again, look, maybe they can say to me, well, you don't know about them. They can say, well, maybe you just don't know what's going on. You're not paying attention. Hey, look, man, I'm on the spam email list of Rand Paul, okay? So I see all the donation letters that come in. Do you mean to tell me that the only thing I would see would be those letters and not see, like, hey, we're doing something here locally or get involved or something like that? So they're not giving you the list then if they're not, because you could do that locally if you wanted to. You just need their list to do it. Or you could set them up yourself and put them out there, and I would see them. So, like, unless you're, and you can say, well, we're hiding him from libertarians like you. Why? Why would you want to hide him from me? Honestly, I don't care. It's not, go do your thing. I'm not with him. I'm not standing with him, but I'm not doing nothing. I'm busy. I got 11 other things going on. You know, I'm not worried about the 333 million when we can worry about one guy that can run like 12,000 seats or 15,000 seats and actually get guys elected, because your guys ain't there either. That's the other thing. Like, you want to say, I'm taking over the GOP and we're going to do it. Where's your guys at? I mean, other than you picked 5 around the entire country. We got 18,000 in Florida. You mean to tell me we ain't got 5 here? You know, the ones you do get, you guys don't help anyway. You screw them over like Norm Roach. Now, you guys didn't. Now, the people that are Rand people, you didn't screw him over, so I'm not trying to claim that you did. But the people you line yourself with, they do. And they make more money because of your inclusion. Out of that, look at Rand. And again, I know things. So in knowing what he's not doing, and he's not going after the big donors, not really. You know, and that one was public knowledge. Matt and I put it out. Matt and I said it very clear. He was in a room full of millions, tens of millions of dollars of people that would support his campaign. Where is he? He snubbed them. He was invited to go. He didn't go. Why would you turn that down? Again, those aren't libertarians. Those are Republicans.
Right. That's the Republican base that he needs.
But don't get me wrong. If you keep shining them on like you are, though, maybe they'll take a look at us now, though, because we're actually doing pretty. Whatever you guys are going to do, you're going to do at the end of the day. But don't think that we're happy about you screwing it all up. You know, it's not bring me pleasure. I would rather be wrong, because then I would be free. You know, I'd rather be wrong and free than right and in chains or something. Again, I'm trying to fix this thing. I just don't see any path where you're at. And you shouldn't either, especially after this abomination of a campaign. Are you kidding me? Like, is this? Come on, dude. You got to be. There's 16 people in this race, man. You got to do something. I mean, look, do your filibusters and stuff like that, but it's got to be more than that, dude. You got to be out there more. And I don't know, Donald Trump sucked up the air. I hear you, but your local organization isn't for shit either, though. That local organization, you don't see them, and if you're not trying to get them yet, that's just problems, dude. You should have learned that from your dad's campaign. I'm sorry that you have regressed.
Well, I think it's ridiculous for him to leave the Senate seat to do this anyway.
Look,
and
here's the thing. If he would have run, I hate to say it again, though, if they were just to organize the base down here, there would be enough of them, even with libertarians saying that there's nut support. There's enough of a Rand base that can win the nomination in Florida. Really, if they were to do it right, they just refuse to do it. And I don't know why. I don't even understand why they do this stuff. Like, they don't want to organize locally. They don't want to, and they've tried and they back off and go back and forth. They tried it with C4L. They should have kept that going, to be honest with you. And I know they're trying still, but it's not like it was. A lot of us were involved in C4L. We're not anymore because of what they were doing, like just going the wrong way. But look, be it as it may, though, you got these campaigns. What are you doing, man? Organize it. You got money now. Use it. Pay some people down here to organize the thing up. Then, if that's that's what you should be doing now. If you're going to run a presidential campaign, there's somebody in Florida you pay to make sure that things are going right here in Florida. Multiple people. You might even hire 5.
Maybe even 5.
I don't even look. You got to start hiring some people, though. Or again, you'll find people that are willing to volunteer their time, but you got to have a couple paid people just to organize it, though. But at any rate, that's all I wanted to say about that. I'm not even going to drone on and on about it. I feel bad for your guy. There's a way to turn around. Get it turned around if you're going to complain. If not, leave me alone. And I ain't happy about it, by the way. So don't get mad at me because it ain't working out. All right. It's not my fault that it's not working out. It's not my fault at all. I have zero blame. I don't go and trash the guy, make a public comment here and there. Other than that, I just leave the cat alone. And I make fun of all of the rest of them because all of the rest of them are complete losers. But I leave Rand alone for the most part. I generalize Republican, but and
every once in a while you take a shot at him. But
well, be honest with you, don't be competition then, because that's exactly what he is. And that's this. Again, I'm not happy about it. I wish him success. He's screwing it all up. Not my fault. It's not my circus, not my monkeys, man. Not my monkeys, not my circus.
Well, like you were saying, that maybe this will get them to come after us. You know what'll get them to come after us?
But why?
When we start raising money. That's when they're going to start trying to court us. They're like, oh, wait, they had in this base? Yeah, we'll go after the libertarians.
Well, the thing is that there's been very few anything that can organize the money wise. I mean, you see very little of it. I mean, not very little of it. I shouldn't say that because there's a lot of people that make donations, but that has to be increased. It's there though. It's there for I would argue it's there for whatever organization is going to do the footwork needed to get it. And it's not going to be easy, but it can happen though. There's enough people now to where you just got to hold everybody. Is that so many of them will agree with you?
Eventually, you're going to get some, right?
Well, it's not just that though, but you're just going to get small amounts at little bit of a time, so it takes time to get that. But it's out there though. You just got to go out and honestly, you have to make sure you provide something that's of value. What you're doing, so if somebody wants to pay you to do it. Honestly, is what it all comes down to in life anyway, so what does it matter?
Yep.
As long as you do it voluntarily. But again, Rand's campaign's bringing enough money and they should be able to do that stuff, though. But they're not doing any of that stuff. I mean, look, they got cruise stuff going on down here. And here's the thing. I understand that there's not a lot of other candidates that aren't doing it very much either, but you got to beat them at this game, though. And you know that now. Like, you got to beat them at this game. I don't know. Maybe they're looking at it different than I am. And I think that they are. And I actually think they look down on me for the way that I look at it. But they know that I'm right, and it pisses them off, for one. Mm-hmm. And then they want to just fucking lash out, like, well, fuck him. You know what, dude? It's not my fault, man. Not my fault at all. I'm just calling like I see it. And look, my party's got problems. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Total problems. So you should be able to get it done way quicker than we are. And you're going back our way.
Right.
We're moving up though. We're on the uptake. Your boy
Yeah.
Randy ain't even close, man. Ain't even close. He's screwing it up, and you know he's screwing it up. You got to defend him. Oh, he's playing chess. Screw your chess. He ain't playing chess. That dude ain't playing chess. Right?
He's losing chess.
Yeah, he's losing checkers. He's losing checkers right now, man. So I mean, and again, you can get mad at me all you want. I don't go make it a point to go do this all the time. But when I keep seeing people trying to make excuses like, "Oh, I bet you libertarians," this ain't our fault, man. We ain't even worried about president right now. We know we got Gary. He's just going to wait a while before he calls. He's going to come in. So we're good. He's playing his game right now. I argue he's putting himself out there in ways that I may not necessarily put myself out there in ways, but he's explaining in a way that I probably wouldn't. But whatever. In all honesty, he's good enough. Gary's good enough for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Nobody's perfect, but Gary's my favorite of everybody that ran in the last cycle. Absolutely.
I think he's going to have a different mindset this one too.
I can already see that.
Yeah. I mean, he said he was gonna, but he really actually does. And honestly, for a libertarian, it's what he's going to need. If that lawsuit works, man, they can get him in the debates. If they can do that, though, it's a whole different ball game, man. It's all about getting into those debates. But you put Gary on the stage it'll probably be Jill Stein, it'll be Hillary Clinton, it'll be Barack Obama, and it'll be Gary Johnson.
Why Barack Obama wouldn't be out there?
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Jeb Bush.
I'm sorry, Hillary Clinton.
Difficult to tell the difference between
Hillary Clinton. Yeah, Hillary Clinton, Jeb Bush. Hillary Clinton, Jeb Bush, Jill Stein, Gary Johnson.
That would be awesome.
That would be what it would be. Oof. How about this one, though? How about... Hold on. How cool would this be? And again, this is just a what if, right? Oh my gosh. Rand Paul almost felt like Perry up there. So you got it'd be Rand Paul, Gary Johnson, Sanders, Jill Stein.
That would
Imagine that debate.
I would love to see that debate. I would love for Rand Paul to win the primary and Bernie Sanders to win the primary, for that to happen.
And the lawsuit. So all of them are up there.
Would you agree that if we got a Rand Paul versus Bernie Sanders general, that we're still better off than we would have been with Hillary versus Jeb?
Like no matter what the scenario's a winner.
Yeah.
I mean,
because the things that we dislike the most about Bernie, I don't think he could accomplish. Because I think we both agree that when Bernie Sanders articulates the problems, we agree with him on what the problems are. When he starts articulating solutions, that's when we vehemently disagree with him.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so the thing is, a lot of those solutions that we don't like, he's never going to get done anyway.
Well, I guess you're right about that. However, the mandate on the psyche of a nation, when somebody is elected that is that outspoken in opposition to the current system that we're supposed to have, like when they finally picked socialism, I think we've reached a tipping point. So I'm hoping we haven't reached that tipping point. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really, God, I hope they don't pick Bernie Sanders, because he really is no effing around a social. At the end of the day, he's a socialist. Now, there's some libertarians that I know that like Bernie Sanders. I know a couple libertarians that are
I know
if it's
several.
going to be anybody, I'll pick Bernie Sanders. I mean, it's a very, very small. It's not even. I'd say it might be 1% of the libertarians.
If that.
And again, I have no idea. I've heard people say it, but at the same time, like I watched it. But look, it's just. I'm saying 1% of the people that consider themselves libertarians actually are going to go for Bernie Sanders, but only for the reason that he correctly diagnoses the problem. So he's talking about the problem. It's that they'd rather fight somebody on the solution and agree on the problem.
Exactly.
And you know what? There's something about that I do say is there's something somewhat noble about that. But at the same time, man, socialism can't win.
Well-
If they pick a socialist, man, like it's really over. Like it really is at that point. Like the America that we know, it's going to be a while to come back on something like that.
Well,
Because that means you're not supporting capitalism anymore.
I think that it's going to have its own repercussions if we go to a full social. Which that's the thing. I don't think he can accomplish that. I think some things will get changed, but I don't think he can accomplish fully socializing the nation. And I think what it would do would magnify the opposition to that, because right now, part of the problem is too many people do cry socialism when it's not really socialism, or they just cry it too much when. And what it does is it ends up making it just not mean anything anymore. It's the crying wolf kind of thing. So when we get to Bernie Sanders, who truly is a socialist, it doesn't carry as much weight. So that's part of the problem. Now is people don't realize that that's the case with him. So if he were to be the one that's getting all the attention and is in the debates or even gets elected, then the opposition and that philosophy gets exposed and starts playing out, the opposition to that philosophy starts getting more attention. Do you follow what I'm saying? Instead of being the crackpots who are always screaming socialism, then it becomes a legitimate conversation. And it earns public conversation.
I mean, I guess. I mean, you know what it is? I can tell you this. You know what that is? If Bernie Sanders gets elected, in my opinion, you have now put an official timer on when you better have it fixed by, and you better actually have it fixed within a decade. What I mean by that is that you better get people elected. You better have majorities in a decade. Everywhere. All of them. City councils, county commissions, state house, state. It's like, you better switch this place libertarian in 10 years. You only got that many years left. Because if you don't get it done by then, they will be able to have implemented everything that they wanted to do. And it might not even take that much time. But if you start getting somebody like Sanders elected, whoo boy, I don't even know what the hell's going to happen. And it ain't going to be pretty, and they're going to be coming. And that's just the way it's going to be. And you have to, we have to get people free at that point, man, because everybody's, look, I know how we talk about people being in bondage and stuff, and it's not really it's not really real. You're like, well, they're not really put in bondage. They're kind of doing that, and it's getting worse. There's a lot of people that are in what you would consider to be that kind of shape in our society, and can at any time be treated this way because of our constitutional rights being taken away. Whether we want to admit that or not, they have a lot of reasons to come in and kill us, and they've shown that they've done it quite a little bit. And
even if they're coming after you by mistake, if they should have been knocking on someone else's door, but they kill you instead,
yeah, no shit.
Then too bad.
Yeah, it's like there's no accountability there. Here's the thing. Look, man, you can respect the people that choose to protect us. That you can think of them highly and all that other kind of crap, right? You can really, sure, they're heroes. But here's the thing. I would agree with you that that's a heroic job to do. But the reason I would agree it's heroic is because it's supposed to be selfless. You're there to protect everybody. So part of being the hero is to die for what you believe in. When I was in the military, that was the same thing. And my odds of being killed increased when I was in there, in case I didn't go to war. Didn't have to at the time. I was in between the two. So I went in there. My life expectancy, didn't go drop tremendous. Really started happening. Then life expectancy changed. I mean, not a drastic amount, but a pretty good amount, though. A lot of people died. So, what were we talking about?
I was just following you down your bunny trail.
Or was I? We were talking about. Damn, I forgot how we even got here. Well, at any rate. But with Rand, dude. Oh, no, we were talking about Rand or the party?
Bernie.
Oh, Bernie. Oh, yeah. No, we can't do that. You can't do that. You can't, man. You can't.
You got there from Bernie Sanders.
No shit. Okay.
Yeah.
No, gotta know. Write that down.
And you're wanting to go back to Rand. See, that's how much he bothers you.
Well, it's not even that he bothers me, but I get mad when like
It's really
not
his
my
supporters
fault.
that bother you, isn't it?
Well, here's the thing: you can't blame us for this one. So don't even try. Like, and don't go over there and stew like you guys are happy about it. Hey, no, we're not. Honestly, it does more harm than good anyway.
Yeah.
And dealing with you guys, just we got enough problems as it is without having to deal with you guys. You got to go local, and your problem is you only look up.
Yeah.
You talk a game, but you don't believe it because you don't do nearly enough local. I don't see you do it. Again, where are you? I don't know.
I don't see it. But you're
Are you
absolutely
hiding
right.
everything from me?
You're absolutely right. I actually do see more from the what I would consider the liberty wing of the Republicans about Ted Cruz than I do about Rand Paul. You know, this is what the local active people in the grassroots are talking about is Ted Cruz, not Rand Paul.
Because it ain't. You know whose job it is to not talk about it, or to talk or not? It's not my job. It ain't your job. We're already talking about stuff. And we're not talking about trash and Rand either. We got events going on. We got things working. But you know, though, every once in a while, I got to respond to when you guys do some dumb stuff. Or at a point where I think you're trying to blame me for something, I've already seen the talk. So I'm just going to shut that up. Let's just shut that down right now.
The funny part is this is the dessert. The show is the dessert.
Yeah.
The other stuff is the vegetables and all that that we got to eat to be able to do this.
Yes.
You know, kind of like the point I was making about, you know, the difference between guys like the ones who claim they're libertarians, like Bill Maher and Glenn Beck, you know, and they're media personalities that dabble in activism, and we're activists who dabble in media.
Well, yeah, we look at it from a different direction. And honestly, it's a shame because they should look at it too, even though in some ways they kind of tried, but in a very much of a hands-off approach of doing it. But it just, you know, and look, don't get me wrong, it's still out there no matter what. So you got to give Beck his due on the 9/12 thing, because there's a lot of those. He's done stuff, you know. He's got a grouping of people that all like him. Honestly, I don't even hate on Beck, man. Don't even care. I'm glad when he says libertarian stuff. Keep it up.
Whatever
you'll even believe it.
Whatever gets the word out, I guess.
Yeah, well.
There are a lot of people that don't agree with that within the Libertarian Party.
Well, no, that's true. I mean, whatever, you know.
I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Can it get any worse than it is?
Yeah. I just look at it, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it doesn't have to be this way. I almost feel like that. Like, it doesn't have to be this way. But it all depends. What do you want to influence? You know.
Well,
I just don't see him doing a bunch of either, though, and I wish I was. I wish I was surprised that I would see things. You know, like I want to see more. I don't see it though. Only reconfirms to me that the right decision was to go with the Libertarian Party. Obviously, you guys aren't getting it done. Like his dad's name.
Well, yeah. There's no denying that. So did you just want to talk about Rand all night long?
No. Let's change it. Change it up, dude.
Well, you keep going back to Rand.
I'm sorry.
We were talking about Bernie, and then you started going into military, and then we're back to Rand.
And this is from.
They really got under your skin, didn't they?
I hate being blamed for something that wasn't my fault. I really do. I have a problem with that though. Like I don't like being blamed for something that's not my fault. And don't blame me for being and don't say I'm happy about something when I'm not happy about it. You don't know. You don't know enough to know that I wouldn't be happy about it. Like it's ignorance to think that actually. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not like that. So
no, we'd be happy with Donald Trump's failure, not Rand's.
Well, definitely not. I definitely don't want to see Trump. But hold on, Tommy Frame wanted to chime in on this though. I don't hate Bernie, and this is from Tommy. So let me say this. I don't hate Bernie Sanders. If I had to choose, Sanders is far better than any other establishment candidate. Obviously, Johnson or a Libertarian would be ideal, but Sanders is near perfect on diagnosing the problems, and he is great with solutions on social problems, a.k.a. great civil libertarian. I think we all... And this is actually raising like the best point ever, though, by the way.
I agree with him so far.
I think we all know socialism is a failed economic policy, so it would never be able to get far anyway. But if Hillary were elected, we would still move more left on economics, and if Jeb was elected, we still would move more right on civil liberty issues and war. So at least a candidate like Bernie, we can have a candidate era of civil libertarianism. Good point, by the way.
Absolutely.
And clean up our foreign policy somewhat instead of any other major candidate that would screw us on both fronts. You know what? To be honest,
he's absolutely
wow.
right. He's absolutely
point,
right.
By the way,
and that's the thing. Like, you give me the choices of only Bernie Sanders or Jeb Bush, I'll vote Bernie Sanders.
Ain't that sad? Because of two main issues, though.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because he's right.
But the issues, the funny part about it is that the issues themselves, though, that I think that everybody agrees with me on this one, though. Like, well, all the libertarians do, mind you. Staunchly anti-war. Maybe not all of them, but there's a fair, large percentage of them that are...
No, I say that libertarians are staunchly anti-war, and if they're not staunchly anti-war, they haven't come around to being a libertarian yet.
Well, I'm saying, like, if you look at the people right now that are libertarians, how many of them are... Like, is there any of them you classify as libertarians that still hold somewhat of a... While I'm not saying non-interventionist, like if troops get pulled out and we're not drone bombing people anymore, we didn't close Germany though. We didn't close Japan. We kept most of the bases, but we really kind of got out of conflicts. Would that still be libertarian enough for you, or
yeah,
like you're okay with just stopping all the wars right now? Like that's your line.
Stopping and some level of withdrawal. You know, I don't think that we can just tomorrow pull out everybody from everywhere across the globe. I know that's not possible. We've had this conversation. I'm not a pull the rug out from under kind of libertarian. You know, there are a lot of them out there. That's absolutely true. There are a lot out there who want to shut it all down tomorrow. You know, they want to wake up tomorrow morning and shut all the government down.
Completely. And an economic nightmare.
Yeah, and so... You know, I am in full favor of at least stopping the wars and drawing out everywhere that we are not required to be by treaty, you know, or any bases that are not strategically necessary for our Navy and what they're doing worldwide. Because we've talked about that. You know, you're the big proponent of keeping the Navy and keeping the Navy strong, and I agree with that as well.
Yeah,
and you've kind of brought me more around on that.
Shipping lanes. Honestly, shipping lanes is the free flow of goods for the United States. Honestly, I think is something that is the responsibility of the federal government. The reason that we have a Navy,
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, like, is to protect the shipping lanes and stuff. And you know what, man, I think that's a good role. It shouldn't cost anywhere near as much as it costs for the military.
Right.
But you could knock down a tremendous amount if you literally just moved everybody home. Because there's a lot of money those people are spending too, by the way. Like those militaries in our military in other countries are doing more. They're spending all their money there too. Like
they're a huge boost for the local economy.
Yeah, they build cities around these people, man. Mm-hmm. So like cities are cities that could be in America. Like, you don't have to have them over there. You can have them at home if you really needed that many people to be armed and ready to go. You can have a base here that does all that crap. You don't need to have it there because you're propping up their economies. And again, it doesn't make a huge difference, but it makes a pretty big friggin' difference, though.
And the thing is, I don't necessarily think that we have to get rid of every base that we have worldwide.
Yeah.
You know, there are some that we have to keep right now because of treaties that we've made. I mean, it's weird as a libertarian, and a lot of libertarians. This is one of those things that gets a lot of libertarians pissed at me. But I do think that we are obligated to maintain our treaties, and if we're going to break the treaty, we have to justify breaking that treaty. And there are a lot of treaties that. But see, I come from a different background and a different school of thought because I come from an American Indian kind of thought process and spirituality and history. And, that's the one thing. I mean, there are still legal battles going on over broken treaties with the Indian nations. So I think the government needs to come around and start honoring their treaties.
I would. for what you're saying, I would agree with that. Absolutely, I would agree with that.
And the places where we have treaties that require our bases, we need to keep them there. And
Whatever the bare minimum is what we'll do. Whatever the bare minimum is. Everything else we're taking out. All the fluff is gone. Everything else is gone. And we're telling everybody, look, man, we're bringing everything back. I think the problem is that even when you start that foreign policy, you do need somebody in the White House that is going to be able to manage that. And I don't know if Bernie Sanders is the guy to do it. He might be, for all I know. I don't think so, though. I don't believe that it is. I think that you are going to need a younger person than Bernie Sanders with a different philosophy that's not socialism, but there's one of non-intervention, which is different than socialism.
Yeah.
For different reasons.
Now, I would kind of like to have this discussion, if you'd like, the foreign policy thing, because would you agree that the reason we have the military that we have is coming out of World War II and then into the Cold War, and the military buildup from that, right? I mean, that's why we built this military machine, or at least the public justification of it. Now, we could get deeper into the military-industrial complex discussion of why we have it, but I think the public justification was the Cold War and the military buildup off of that, right?
Okay, well, I mean, I'm no expert when it comes to what I'm about to address or what I'm about to say. But I think from all I understand, from everything I understand, is that after the Cold War, and from my understanding of history, is that after the Cold War, or I mean not after the Cold War, but after World War II, the United States had made a decision at that point that they were going to basically be the world's police. And we're going to be policing the world. We'll run it through the UN or whatever organization you want to run it through. Mm-hmm. But we're going to be the world's police when it flares up, and we're going to go in there and manipulate things. Now, if you say right off the bat that you're going to go in there as the world police, then you're going to have a way different mindset of what American interests actually are and what they're not. Because by looking at it from the mindset that they're looking at since World War II, they've been looking at it from the mindset of that. How can I say this? I have to be here to manage this. But your justification for managing it was World War II. Mm-hmm. But World War II was predictable considering of the Treaty of Versailles and what happened economically led to the rise of fascism over in Europe at that time frame. The communists and the socialists and the fascists, like all those guys, the Nazis and the commies and the fascists, all, you know, they were making treaties and then they're backing out of their own treaties. Like Germany, you know, attacked friggin' Russia. Like, why would you do that when you had a treaty with them anyway? So, like, there's a lot going on over there.
I think that's not necessarily what they're addressing as far as the justification of World War II. Really, the reason why World War II is the justification is because we allowed to build up a lot before we intervened, and I'm speaking everybody except him. The royal we, as in everybody who thinks that you're fucked up. Okay? It took a long time to realize how fucked up he was and to decide to go after him. So I think that's kind of the justification, is we can't allow somebody to get to that level ever again in taking control and becoming that evil dictator to the point where they can pull off a Holocaust or anything like that.
No, and that's quite understandable that you would have that opinion. Somebody would have that opinion.
Yeah, I don't have that opinion.
I know you don't, but I'm glad you brought it up, because the response that I would give to somebody, and I know you don't have the opinion. So then that person should be able to then at that point agree with me that probably one of the best ways that it doesn't happen again is if we stopped arming them. If we stopped, I don't know, buying them weapons, having it as part of their yearly budget to create, you know, groupings of people that have enough military weapons to be a dictator to the people in their own country, namely Egypt. I mean, let's just call a spade here at this point. Stop. This is why the neocons are so afraid right now. It's exactly why the neocons are completely afraid right now, as they should be. And they are launching out because they're trying to deflect everything from the truth of what's actually going on right now. You know what I mean? Like, you made ISIS. I know you didn't mean to make ISIS, but with you and Obama together, you made ISIS. Because it wouldn't have been possible had not the actions happened before, but his actions needed to happen as well in order to cause it to go down the way that it did. But Obama and McCain all liked him to do it because, McCain's taking Facebook selfies with ISIS, and then we give them a bunch of weapons. A bunch of people, sure, it's not, blood's not on our hands. We paid this guy to do it to have him actually give them the weapons or whatever. You armed ISIS. Into Iraq, you knew where all the stuff was. Why didn't you go blow it up? Like, at that point, don't you just go in and blow all that stuff up because you know where it is? Like, it's a base full of tanks. You go in there, you blow up all the tanks. If you knew you should have known they were coming. Go in there and blow up everything. Again, it's an act of war. At that point, isn't that what we should probably do then? Is declare war on ISIS, right? If that's what you're going to do. But the thing is this, then do that right then and there on the spot and deal with the ramifications of it. You let this thing foster and grow. This is directly foreign policy. Or an ignorant foreign policy. Don't get me wrong, Obama, totally ignorant. All the really bad stuff. Watch. You know what I mean? But the other stuff was bad too, and you set up a whole bunch of rules that we're having to fight through right now.
Yeah.
Bunch of bastards.
Well, it's so interesting the how off the rails we do still get, no matter what conversation we're
saying.
Well, here's the thing. So the military buildup, during the Cold War era, kind of what you're saying with, we're going to be the world police and we're going to do it to prevent another incident like World War II, and it's kind of what we're seeing now is the natural result of that. And it's kind of the euphemism that's used in revolutionary speaking throughout history. The tighter you squeeze, the more is going to slip through your fingers, right? So the U.S. government has kind of become the world police and is squeezing all these countries to make sure, we're in control here. If something gets out of control, we're going to have the CIA stage a coup, and we're going to take over, and we're going to put somebody in.
They're having a hard time doing those now still.
Well, but this was our policy, right? Yeah. So this is what we had been doing. This is how we're being the world police. We're like, looking, we need to prevent another Hitler, right? So, whenever anybody's but
they changed that into just fighting communism now.
Well, yeah, there were a whole lot of different. That was the big public veil, was communism and the Cold War, against the military buildup against the USSR, because they could bomb us any day.
That's why we did what we did in '53. I mean, if you look at the reason why the United States went in there and threw out the elected people in Iran and replaced them with a dictator, was because they socialized the oil. And they were becoming a socialist country, really, though. They were being very socialist. But they were kind of off by themselves, though. Don't get me wrong, influenced by Russia. I'm not going to lie, at the time, I'm sure it was. But in order for us to stop it, we felt that was our job. So we went in there and overthrew an elected government because that's how the got in control anyway. Like, what Iran looked like in the 30s and the 40s was not. They would be like us now.
Well, the result is, because we're squeezing these countries, what slips through the fingers is now these fringe organizations, these loosely affiliated groups. So now we can't declare war because it's not a nation anymore that we're fighting against, because we've got the nation under control because we either occupied it or implanted somebody or strong-armed them economically or militarily into playing ball with us, And the whole thing is the Middle East learned all this basically from South America. We don't like to talk about that, but that's kind of where we started doing the squeeze on these countries and playing this game of, three-card dictator, just around and we're going to take over this country. I mean, we've been fighting a secret war in Colombia that nobody wants to talk about since the 80s, and it's still going on today. And we're fighting it with military contractors instead of soldiers to get by with it. And we've been fighting these loosely affiliated groups throughout South America for decades. And now we're fighting them in the Middle East. Yeah. And we've got Al-Qaeda and ISIS and all these organizations that we're always fighting that aren't affiliated with countries. So how do we declare war on that? We got to declare war on terror, because it's not even a noun. How do we declare war on it?
Well, I think exactly. But I think the problem is that, and this happened, I guess, when they were drawing boundaries and stuff. But when they drew they drawn the wrong way anyway because they weren't looking at like Sunnis and Shias and Kurds. Like they weren't looking at the different sects. They drew up maps that were not the same kind of, it didn't work out that way. This is manufactured stuff, or it should have got broken up to the right ones anyway. Then, if that's Sunni, Shia, and all that stuff. But they did it, and they based it off of a lot of different factors. Oil being one of them. But that's the problem with meddling. Really, that's the problem with meddling. And I know people are like, oh, you're blaming America. Well, you know what? Look, I'm not blaming me. I'm not blaming you. I know you didn't make this stupid decision, but the decision has been made, and it's made stupid and stupid over and over. And at a certain point, you got to understand that they're doing dumb things, and they're doing it in your name. And so your future actions dictate whether you should be in charge or not.
No, I mean, what do you mean by blame America? Do you say America is infallible?
No. I
mean, that's my rebuttal to that. I'm sick of that. I'm sick of hearing, oh, you're blaming America. Damn right I'm blaming America. Because America isn't infallible. Because we make mistakes too.
Yeah. But you know what, though? The best part about it is that it's not our military, it's our elected officials. And we got to get past, this is a policy problem. This is a policy problem. And it needs to be fixed. And here's the thing. If you don't trust these guys domestically, the government that is, why would you trust them overseas? And you got to remember, it's not blaming the troop on the ground. Honestly, he's just doing as he's being told. You know what I mean? And that's honestly for that one, other than if they commit certain like war crimes and stuff, you know what I mean, where they go around killing and raping women and stuff, like you got to get rid of that stuff if they go to war. You can't have that. You know what I mean? But if you go around and if you're ordered to kill people and you go and kill people, then you did your job. I'm not saying that, like if they're in a battle or something. If you go indiscriminately killing innocent people, that's bad though.
It's not like we can trust these people anyway. I mean, have you ever been to the DMV? I mean, these people don't do it. And you're going to extend that to trying to deal with these countries? Yeah. I got two words for you, Tora Bora.
Well,
when we sat and watched Osama bin Laden and his goons walk across the border to Pakistan, because either our government is so inept that they can't even figure out that we need to drop some bombs on these guys right now, or they're so corrupt that they let it happen so they could continue this. Either they are so incompetent that they don't deserve the job, or they are so corrupt that they should be killed.
I think the other part that really is very disingenuous of those that have the disagreement on Osama bin Laden. Like, there is evidence that he has actually met with our government in the past. It's not like we didn't know who this dude was. You know what I'm saying? Like, they knew who this guy was. Remember, at a certain point, he worked for the CIA.
He was on the CIA's payroll.
Like, and I understand we pay off a lot of bad people, but he was one of them. That means you should have known. You should have known things too. I mean, it's like they don't even take that into account because like, well, one agency wasn't talking to the other. Hey, look, man, the CIA, you guys he's on a payroll. How much more information do you need to know?
Yeah.
He's collecting a paycheck from you, man. At least do something. You know where he's at then, so there you go. I mean, stupid. I mean, really just, I think, I'm going to throw him in the drink. What do you mean you're going to throw him in the drink, by the way? Are you trying to make more conspiracy theories? Like, that's what you need to do. Because, honestly, that one sounded just like a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
We're not going to show you any evidence of it. We went and killed him. We dumped him in the water. Really? Mm-hmm. That's what you did? Why? What? Like, why? I've never heard any justifiable reason for that one.
Yeah, and you're bringing up a great point. Even if everything they are doing really is legit, what they're saying, they're still doing it in such a way that they feed conspiracy theorists all day long.
Yeah, it's either they're right or these guys are that freaking inept.
Yeah.
It's one of the two, man. And look, and maybe it's they're that inept. You ever watch that South Park episode where they talk about 9/11?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Where they were trying to play like it was an inside job, but it wasn't really an inside job. But the government wanted you to think about it as an inside job because they wanted you to think that the government was that powerful to be able to do it, when in reality they're just a bunch of dumbasses. What a great episode.
Which is actually what my whole thought about it was. The first time I started hearing the conspiracy theories about it being an inside job, I was like, no, but they'll let you think it was an inside job because I truly believe that they are that incompetent. I've been to the DMV. I mean, I've seen road projects going on. I mean, I had a road project collapse down the street from me not long ago. I mean, these guys don't do anything well. The only thing they do well at all is kill people and spend money irresponsibly. They're like teenagers with alcohol. They can blow money and kill people. That's about it.
You know, what's funny is because we were a portion of a budget of another budget, the Marine Corps. The funny part about it is we were always using old shit. We never would get new. We very rarely get new shit. At least the time frame when I was in, it was, I mean, they had to up you a lot more once, all hell.
Once it's actually a war going on.
Well, no, that's why. I think that's why you have a military. That's why you leave them at all. Look, if they wanted to keep the numbers, keep the numbers as high as it is right now. Like, you don't need that many because you're not covering that much land. Like, if you're just covering America, it changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that you could get away with taking 30 to 40% and making them like reservists, like weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. You could take probably 30% or 40% and just make them all that. But make them somewhat of an active one to where you rotate out for the stuff that you got to still do, like the stuff by treaty you still got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Rotate those out to where nobody's staying there permanent. You're only doing temporary barracks. Your setup for there is you go there, you leave, and every 6 months somebody else goes there and leaves. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the minimum you have to do there is, you do that. And I think you do a lot better. I think actually the suicide rates would go down tremendously if you were to do that. Tremendously.
Oh, yeah.
Retention rate would be up. But the thing is that you're going to be dropping off a lot of people into the reserves, though. But you know what? Honestly, if that's the case, that's the case.
One of the arguments is, well, what about all the jobs that people will lose? Well, isn't the argument that they're so that going into the military makes all I hear on the radio is people talking about you need to hire veterans because they're so well trained and they're leaders and they know how to get the job done, and so put them in the free market then. Let's find them some jobs. I mean, get them out of the military if they're that good.
Oh yeah. Well, look, you got to do it for a limited amount of time. Look. There's some people that calling though, like they want to be there to defend their country, and I don't want that to not be that. Like I do want enough spots for those people. Like you don't got to decrease it a 100. But honestly, you can get rid of a ton though, man. There's a ton you can get rid of.
Yeah.
That's the part that really is disingenuous. It's because we're covering so much land though. Look, if you're only having to cover America, there's a lot less active you need.
Mm-hmm.
But that means you can't go do things like go to war with Iran. Thank God, we don't need that.
Yeah.
We don't need wars with anybody else right now. We need to fix America. I don't even understand how that's not even so evident right now. Like they're still talking about, well, we need to, all options on the table with Iran. Are you kidding me? Do you think that this economy at this shape it can actually handle what would happen if you went to war with Iraq or Iran?
Yeah, it wouldn't work. And
they closed down the street. Look, it's a war. That means people are dying. That means shipments don't always come out when they're supposed to come out. It means you got to spend money to get them out in different ways. It's going to cost you a lot more money to do in a war right now, especially with Iran, because they ain't a bunch of wusses either.
No.
If we're going to invade, there's a lot of people going to die. Yeah. And they're protecting their land, not the other way around. And that's an organized army that's going to protect their land. You're going to use nukes? You might need to. So how about you not get involved with it at all and just lay off the sanctions and get the hell out? They're not going to grow to the point where they're going to take over everybody else. Maybe they'll get some of their Sunnis back, or whatever. They're in there fighting ISIS right now. Oh, not bitching about that. So anyway, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm over here getting stuff ready for break. Oh. We got 5 minutes till break, and so I'm
we get to talk about this. The sugar, by the way, because then you get to talk about things that you normally wouldn't talk about, and even like Trump.
Can we make fun of Trump for a little?
Dude,
while?
It's amazing how much this guy sucks the air out of the entire race. It literally is all him, and he is. Look, I don't think he's losing. I don't even like to say what I'm saying right now. Like, oh, Trump's a scary guy. But, man, you got to give him that, though. He is just Look, and maybe you do that just to flare out much time. I happen to think that, man, he doesn't need any money to run. He's already got all the money. He runs as long as he wants, and he's an ego guy.
Yeah.
Do you think he's just going to voluntarily, like stuff's got to be going really bad for him to, he's going to have to lose. Like, you deal with him until at least Super Tuesday at a minimum.
Yeah. Easily.
And if he loses and you guys do him, he'll stay all the out of spite.
That's true.
I don't got to deal with that guy. I got to tell you, man, that guy, oof, I wouldn't want to deal with Trump right now. He is making, he's calling out McCain's war record, for Pete's sake.
Well, it's funny. Every once in a while he says something that everybody agrees with. Everything he says, somebody's going to agree with. And finally he hit on something that I agree with.
Is McCain's war record.
Yeah.
Well, here's the whether the truth about the war record is known or for a dude that took deferments to make fun of a guy that was a POW, like, there's no getting around the fact that he flew planes, he got shot down, he went and he was a long time, and he's been messed up for life because of the stuff that took place. He's been forever tarnished. Since he's gotten out, though, of there, and there is some argument as to what he did when he was in there, you just can't go after that dude for that, though. Like you're playing like the president game. Like, you're not allowed to do.
I don't agree with him going after him. I agree with what he said.
I got you.
Well, I think it was dumb for him to do that. Which it's just another one of those things that makes me say I don't think you're taking this seriously, and you're being very disrespectful to the process and to the American people because you're making a spectacle of this and you're using it to build your brand and build your name. And I feel like I'm getting teabagged by this asshole, and I just want to punch him in the face.
Bagged. That's very funny. That's a good time.
Donald Trump is teabagging the country, and NBC is like full on pushing it. I was seeing a thing today. I forget where it was. It was an analyzation of how much media time Trump has gotten, and he's dominating media time, and most with NBC. And I'll give you 3 guesses what channel airs Celebrity Apprentice.
NBC.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. So
It's a.
that's why I say it's all about.
You know,
absolutely.
I mean, now here's the thing. I have actually sat down and listened to these guys' speeches and heard some of the interviews of Trump.
Mm-hmm.
My problems remain the same. He does not understand the position he's even running for. And I don't think he cares to understand either. He will bullshit you the entire way, and you are eating up his bullshit in a monster way. And I'm not even saying that Trump would do I think Trump would do some things that would probably be economically that could be good. I don't know. It all depends. You never know with this guy, though. I mean, he's a corporatist, though.
Yeah.
Like, is he really going to change that much? This guy's a crony guy, though. He used to be on the buy-in end on this. You know, he used to be buying the influence. He get both Democrats and Republicans. You know why? Because in order for him to do business, he had to do it with them. But you know what, though? I think that having to do business with him is a misnomer. You got enough money. You didn't need them to do that stuff. You did that because you wanted the control and the power. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And you can say, well, that's the game you got to play. But you know what, though? I don't need you running the country. Sorry. And honestly, you're scary on all the rest of the crap. You might start World War III just because, like, Putin might have Twittered you wrong.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to have international Twitter fights that are going to start world wars.
This guy wants to be president of the United States, and he's getting in a Twitter war with Penn Jillette.
And Penn Jillette smoked his ass.
He totally did. And that's the thing. Not only did you get in a Twitter war with Penn Jillette, you got dropped like third period French by Penn Jillette.
Yeah. And honestly, it's a kid's game you're playing up there. What the hell is it?
Yeah.
Look, you can do
that's
it.
That's what 13-year-old.
Look, and you can do this in the Republican primary all you want to. And that's whatever. You're not going to make it through. You know you're not going to make it through. And the problem is because you're just all talk anyway, though. You're never... And you ain't going to organize the base either, though. Same problems with Rand. You got a lot of people out there that love... The thing is, I have more faith in the grassroots supporter of Donald Trump getting him further than the grassroots support for Rand Paul. I'm just saying. Because there's some people that just love him some Donald Trump, boy. A lot of people. You know why? Because Donald Trump just is like it's sad. He's considered the anti-establishment when he was the establishment. Like, he would buy politicians.
Yeah, he's totally the establishment. And he's been back and forth. He's supported everybody at some point. Both sides of his mouth.
Like, just a decade ago, I'm a Democrat. Like, the hell? Like, this is your guy? What the hell's wrong with you? But,
He sucks. He sucks out loud.
I really don't understand why people don't see it, but at the same time, I totally understand why people don't see it.
I wish they would see it.
I wish they would too, but I understand why, though. Because you know what, though? What they're looking at is the same thing when it comes to people like Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
The thing that really motivates them, the thing that really feeds them, is the stuff that he talks about, or he's the only one that talks about it in a way close to the way you want it to be done. And you're like, yeah, that's the guy we need up there. So, and immigration is a huge issue. And there's a lot of people, though, that really, really, really don't like, they would like to close the border. And still placating to him because he's still going to have people coming over. He still believes in control of it as well, though.
Yeah.
And he's going to beef up the security on the wall, on the border too. But again, you're never going to beat it. You're still going to have drugs coming in because the only way to fix that actually is to legalize marijuana, which I don't think Trump would do.
No.
He's not a legalizing guy.
No, not at all. I don't think he would at all.
Could you imagine if he won that primary, though?
I weep for the country if that actually happened.
Okay, hold on. So Donald Trump, Gary Johnson, Bernie Sanders, Jill Stein. Trump, Johnson, Clinton, Stein.
Trump, Johnson, Clinton, and Stein.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Be one hell of a debate, to be honest with you.
Well, you could absolutely say that. Oh my God.
I think Johnson would come out on top.
I think. Well, no, Hillary would win. I don't that. I don't think that the country is ready to elect a libertarian president yet.
Well, I think he'd win. I just think he would win the debate.
Win the debate? Oh, I don't. I think Gary Johnson's going to win the debate. Gary or Jill is going to win the debate regardless if they're in there. But as far as winning the presidency,
I don't think Jill could win a debate, but
she gets fired up though.
I have a hatred for Jill Stein.
See, that's the thing. You don't look at her objectively.
Well, because she doesn't look at us very objectively either. Right?
No, she doesn't. And
I would be respectful of those that are respectful to us. Unfortunately, she's not one of them.
This isn't about being respectful. This is about objectively.
I got you. Her ideology.
She gets fired up and she gets passionate and she's able to get people on board with what she's saying with the way she says things.
She does seem to stammer a little bit in the debate setting.
Yeah.
And I do think that it will be, depending on how it went down. See, her problem is she has to attack Clinton too. No matter what, she's got to attack Clinton or it wouldn't work. Like, you can go after Trump, but that's easy. You go after Johnson, but in all honesty, that will make you look very foolish. But if you don't pick Johnson, then you got to go after Clinton. But you have to go after all of them then so you can even go after Clinton. But you're going to play light with Clinton. The problem is that I'm not going to play light with Clinton. And when I do that, I'll point you out and she agrees with me on this one. I'm the only one up here. Wow. So. It's interesting, though. Hey, are we ready for a break, by the way?
I'm working on it.
Are you talking to somebody?
No, I'm trying to get it set up to where I can run this video.
Oh yeah, because you got to run it on that side, right?
And it's not. There we go. Finally got what I needed. Okay, give me just a minute.
All right.
Just don't let the air die. Keep talking.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you're right. I shouldn't let the air die. You know, but that's ultimately my problem. Well, we went back. I don't want to go back to the rant thing. I'm sorry. I won't go back to the rant thing.
Stop going back to rant.
That hit my face, man. Then I didn't go looking for anything else yet. So, I got to tell you though, I do love the fact for redistricting now that we are going to.
Yeah, but you can't see on that one.
Well, no, we're going to talk about that on Friday for sure. But like, it's a good thing though, and it's really going to screw some stuff up too. You know, it really is going to screw some stuff up. Oh, and the solar thing. Well, we don't really go too much into the solar thing, but update on that one though. The media is killing the other amendment now. The Floridians for definitely the way to go. No matter all the attacks or whatever, the media is killing them on this. So nice to see that.
I found a great video on Learn Liberty. It's actually a topic that's very near and dear to my heart, and it's about the medicinal use of cannabis. It's Sophie's story. I'm not sure if this is something you're familiar with. They actually live down in our area in Pinellas County. I think she's in St. But it's a good video. It's 6 minutes 4 seconds long, and
play that shit.
All right.
23 states and the District of Columbia now allow some form of medicinal marijuana.
But figuring out if Ohio will join that list anytime soon is said than done.
You want a man? Come on, let's go play. I never see you come out the door. It's like you're gone away.
My daughter Sophia, she's 6 right now. She is the most lucky little girl I've ever met. She is always smiling.
Says hi, Sophia. This book is just for you to help your body to have less seizures.
People with seizures, with epilepsy, more than about 2/3 or so can be completely controlled with medication.
She was diagnosed when she was 8 months, 2008.
And we took her to Children's Hospital, to the emergency room, and at that point she actually had a seizure in the hospital, and it was very rare at that point. I think her mother and I recognized it immediately, and so did the doctor. And I just lost it in the park. You know, just all of the weight of it hit me once, just like, oh, this is very serious. Like, I didn't know much about it at the time, but I knew it was bad, so.
And about 1 million people in the United States have epilepsy that's not completely controlled with medication.
The doctor came to us, the surgeon, right before the surgery happened, and just was reminding, you know, I have to tell you that this surgery is taking out part of where your daughter's personality could lie, you know, parts of her personality. Something that was really hard as a parent was not to know if my very charming and awesome daughter that everyone falls in love with, if that was going to be the same person that came out of the surgery.
So unfortunately for Sophia, it didn't work. They were able to get most of it out, but not all of it, and obviously that part that was left is still capable of generating seizures.
After like a little over a month, she had seizures again. We would like to try a plant that is natural.
For a long time, the work on cannabis was sort of inconclusive. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. They couldn't quite figure it out. And it's only when they really started separating THC from CBD that they saw, you know, definitively, yes, it seems to really stop seizures.
The belief is that it's the cannabidiol portion of it that seems to have less intoxicants and maybe more of these sort of anti-seizure effects.
We've tried everything else that they can possibly come up with to try to stop these seizures has worked. You should be able to try like a pretty benign plant before you take out a quarter of my daughter's brain.
I can't tell you what that means to us. If it doesn't get you, something's wrong with you. She lived time.
I don't even know Sophia without seizure medication. I've never gotten to know her past 8 months old without being drugged on something, ever. She's so amazing already on a lot of medicine, but it would be really awesome to know her without those medicines.
And that's what the Epilepsy Foundation is really about. It's kind of absurd that your zip code determines whether you can get a treatment or not that you think might be effective.
This is effort for us. It should have been the first one. The first thing that we should have been able to do is try a plant.
Scenario under which you would marijuana?
No, the doctors. I mean, that's a call for physicians, and no, I don't think that makes any. That's not what we need to do.
I like this song too.
Prickly pear. Tiny ram.
All right, we're back. Off the Rails 1787 Network. If you want to call the program, like anybody's even listening and you actually want to call the program, 1-800-525-4032, refresh Telecom, 1-800-525-4032. You can call and yell at us, call us names.
Tell us we're wrong.
Tell us we're wrong.
Just be prepared to defend yourself.
Just be prepared to defend yourself. Honestly, I don't think we said anything that anybody would disagree with, but maybe. I'm sure we probably did somewhere.
We're good at that.
We are pretty
We
good
disagree
at
with
that
each
sometimes. I'd never. Maybe going to the Drudge would be better. Always interesting things on Drudge.
Oh, your scope.
You always get a thing.
You're trying to get a thing?
Well, there's all kinds of things going on. You know, I saw an article where they talked about all the campaign signs so far.
Uh-huh.
And I am a big fan of campaign signs.
Yes, you are.
But logos, too. If you're a big fan of one, you got to be a big fan of logos, too. And it is funny who they say the best and the worst is out of all the guys running.
Yeah.
Because I got to tell you, though, in my opinion, the best one actually, and it's going to sound funny to say it this way, but the best one actually is Rand Paul's.
Okay.
Basic, simple, got a little torch on it, but it's his name, Rand, So that's good. It's a very simple, basic one. Well, Hillary sucks. I mean, it looks like a hospital sign. It sucks. There's no way that it looks good.
Jeb's is recycled.
Yeah, Jeb's is recycled.
It's the same logo from his government.
Perry's is horrible. Cruz pretty much,
Where is? I'm going to try.
Type in Rand Paul 26, images on Google. You'll see it there.
Okay.
But I think out of all of his, though, I think his looks the best.
The one with the picture of him?
No. It's not the picture of him. It's I don't know. Hang on, let me see here. Talk Live. Look this up.
Okay, is it the one with the wavy American flag?
That's not really the logo.
I think somebody might have made that one.
Yeah, if you go to Rand Paul 2016, there's a picture that's in the background. Oh, well, it's at the top corner, top left corner. Go to randpaul2016.com or randpaul.com, and there's a picture. There's the logo designs up top.
Oh, okay.
It's Rand with a torch. Now, there's variances
I
of
like
that. Variances of that, basically, but it is there, though.
I do like that.
So it's not bad. It's not bad. And out of everybody's though, like if you go to Rick Perry, it's really bad though. You know, like type in Rick Perry logo. Hang on, PERY 216 LOGO. It's that with a P and a star with a circle around it. It says Perry President.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like a off of the Pirate Party logo, actually.
A little bit. And it also looks like a minor league baseball team's logo.
Totally.
You know, like what's a word that? What's the name of a town that starts with a P? Damn it. Pumpernickel. You know, Poot Montana, the Poot Montana, you know, Star Chasers. You know, really didn't pick the colors. Like, I don't understand it though. Like, you could really do so much better than that. Like, well, who made that call? You know, like, who makes that call? I mean, do you really like that? I mean, you can get your glasses checked if that's what you think, son. So I don't like his. If you look at, let's look at everybody's.
I love that he and Donald Trump after each other. Although Trump's going after everybody, but it's funny that Perry's like getting down in the. Called him a cancer on conservatism.
Yeah.
He's not wrong, actually.
Wow.
Every once in a while, somebody's going to say something you agree with. Rick Perry finally said something I agree with.
Yeah, this guy's got problems. Graham. Now, Graham's isn't horrible. I mean, yeah, it's not horrible. Lindsey Graham's not horrible. You know what I mean? Like, it's, Let me see here. Let me go to the website, though. I didn't get a good picture on the... yeah, it's the one up top. Yeah, it's the one up top.
It's not horrible, but it's forgettable.
You know, it would be like 30 years ago since sliced bread.
Yeah, or like that he's trying to bite off of the good ones from last cycle.
I don't know what the red and the white's all about. Well, the red, white, and blue.
It's very 90s.
Because it's a blue background, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, doesn't matter anyway. You like, this guy's really bad.
Looks like a campaign sign from the background to Saved by the Bell.
Problems. Well, you know the good thing about Lindsey Graham is, like, you know, he means it, and he's not really doing it to sell a book because he's giving a book away when you...
Can we... Yeah, since we're talking about him and we've been talking about Trump, can we address the awesomeness that is Trump giving Lindsey Graham's phone number out in public?
Oh, what a jerk. What a jerky move.
You don't like that?
Well, here's the thing. I think it's funny because I hate Lindsey Graham, so, like, I find humor in it. It's just funny, though. You're right, it is just funny. Like,
he says he did it for fun.
Oh, yeah, it's just for fun. To take it well, too, though. I got to give one this time.
Did he change his number?
He made a video of him breaking his phone, which is funny, even though it actually makes him look like an idiot, too, because, look, all you have to do is change your number. You don't have to kill your phone.
Right. He's due for an upgrade anyway.
I'm sure he was due for an upgrade anyway, but that's not the point, though, you know.
Probably on our dime. Taxpayers.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably a good point. Scary dude right there. Scary dude, very simple website. I give him I give him credit for having a good he's got a good website though. That's a nice website. It's a very nice website, actually. I would like a website like this.
I have to send you this picture. You have to see this picture of him.
Let me see. Where are you going? Where are you?
I just
where are you
sent it
putting
to you.
Where are
You
you
got
putting it?
Facebook up?
Huh. Is that really? Is that a picture that they messed up, or is that?
No.
Oh, they just caught him
Perfect
like
timing.
Oh, just a perfect timing pick.
You should add a little.
Look, I'm not gonna lie to you either, though, man. Like, this dude scares the crap out of me, though.
Oh my goodness! There's a dude that scares the crap out of me. Alan West.
Yeah. Alan West does scare the crap out of me a little bit. Wow.
Facebook feed. That's why.
There's a question on lp.org. We could do this too because we would never talk about this on Friday.
Oh yeah.
So there's a question on lp.org that says, "I consider myself to be a libertarian politically. The world And the word that best describes, I consider myself to be a libertarian politically. And the word that best describes my religion is, there's a whole mess of choices. So far they got Catholic, which has got 10% of the vote, Baptist, which is 6% of the vote, Methodist, which is 3% of the vote, Lutheran, 1% of the vote, Mormon when it's 2% of the vote, and other Christian when it's 25% of the vote. Think about this, though. All those numbers up, because all of them are in some the Christians, right?
Hold on, I'm voting, and so I can
now we got to change it all up? Jesus, come on now. 997. Let's see.
Okay. So it looks like I'm in there with 6%, 568 other respondents in
Other non-Christian religion.
other non-Christian religion.
All right, so let's add all this up first, though. Hang on. Let me add this up, if you don't mind. So 10 and 6, 16%, 19%, 22%, 25%, 50%. Okay, so the Christians actually make up 50% of the LP, based off of this poll.
Mm-hmm.
Jewish, 2%. You know, that's a surprisingly low number. Eastern religions, 2%. Another surprisingly. Muslims, 1%. Other non-Christian religions at 6%. None, including agnostic, and 39%.
Is that what you answered with?
That's what I answered with. Don't know, declined to respond, 2%. Honestly thought that it was going to be higher, and I almost picked it.
Because it's the NOTA.
Yeah, it's almost like, no, I'm not telling you nothing.
Which I thought about for a second, but I was like, no.
I think everybody thought about it for a second, and then they just picked something.
Yeah.
But
232 people went through with it.
Yeah.
They were like, it's none of your damn business. I'm a libertarian.
You know, the people that hit lp.org, this is where they're at. Are you surprised with it, or are you not surprised with it, Greg?
No, not at all. I'm not at all surprised by it.
So you think that half the people that are in the LP are actually Christians?
Easily.
All right. Other people would tend to disagree with you. You know what it is, though? Here's what it is. It's the 39%.
Well, it's that 39%, and that 39% is very vocal.
Yes.
And that's fine.
Yeah, it is what it is.
And they can say what they want. I mean, quite frankly, a lot of that 39% are very active on the internet. And
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Well, because the other ones actually do a lot more getting together.
Yeah.
Or they just want to be left alone, one of the two. Which I can't blame you for that either. But I thought that was interesting. One of the first times I've ever seen them actually put up a poll. At least one that I've noticed.
First one that I remember in a long time, anyway. They've done them before, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
Usually, candidates in elections and stuff. I think this is a good question and a good way to kind of get the feel of who we are. And I think this shows that we are not what people kind of portray us as just a bunch of atheists.
Oh, that's true.
There absolutely are atheists within the Libertarian Party. But according to this, 50% are Christians, which I'm not surprised at. When you look at the percentage of the American population that's Christian, which is usually, I think what right now the latest polls are saying like 76% or something.
Something like that.
It was like 86% not long ago. So of course, naturally, groups are typically going to be at least 50% Christian in the United States. I mean, that's just the way the population works out. I mean, unless you're a group of atheists or agnostics or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think you definitely have a large in the other parties, and I think that there's something to libertarian philosophy that lends itself to agnosticism at the very least, if not atheism. Because a lot of people, myself included, realize that religion is just control and a way of controlling people, and is no different than a government, and they reject it as much as they reject it.
Well, that's why it's nice to see the big spike in the Christian other category. You know what I'm saying? Other Christian category, I think, actually has some of those people in it as well.
Yeah.
And that's 25%. That's
Yeah.
a big. I mean, in this poll, 25% is the second highest number you can get.
Yeah.
So I think that there's a lot of people that fit that part of that too, though.
Yeah.
Which
A
makes
lot of those people that are like, I love Jesus, but I hate the church.
Yeah. But again, it's like one of those things where more. But you take that 39% to 25%, that's over half the libertarians right there.
Oh, yeah.
But they discount the people that are the Christians outside of the Libertarian Party discount that 25%.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't want a voice for the 39%.
No.
Like they don't want that. They don't. Here's the thing: they be libertarians, but well, we don't really want. Like your problem in the Republicans is you let those people have they don't have a voice over there. They have a voice here. That's why you don't like them.
Mm-hmm.
You may not get your way all the time.
Exactly. And we're certainly not going to allow you to dictate rules based on your religion.
Man, I got to give it to Lindsey Graham. He's got a nice website, though.
Still crushing on his website, huh?
Wow, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the book giveaway, the Rand site. You know, I never go and see these guys' websites. You know? I never go and see the websites. I should go see them more.
It's been a while since I've been to lp.org.
I go there from time to time, I guess. I do a little bit. Man, God, get that site too. I got to get that. You know, I was thinking I was going to actually make my own website. Not make it myself. I was going to have.
Yeah.
And I was just going to put I was going to link out all the crap I do. Like all this. Like if you want to get involved in this, click here. If you want to get involved in this, click here.
I thought it would just be a big sparkly follow me on Twitter link.
Don't get me wrong. I would put the Twitter feed in the middle I would put a Twitter feed like pretty prominent on the website actually.
Yeah.
Like it would go to the Twitter feed. The Twitter feed would keep you up to date with what I'm doing, Twittering about. Then you put the other organizations around. Like honestly, I put the Twitter feed in the middle, like a like thing on the Facebook thing. At one point, I put stuff for the PAC, stuff for Liberty First, stuff for whatever the show. Do the radio show. Put the radio show there. What else? Maybe a couple some other tabs that would go along as well, like schedule for an event or right? Or if you want to donate to whatever cause, you pick the cause and you can donate to it. I'd sell the book on there where you could buy the book. Just one link for the book and you can buy the book here.
Yeah.
It's really books. The book thing's always a good idea. Cook's giving them away. He gets money for them now. People donate money because he wrote the book and he gives the book out for free. It works. At any rate, all right.
Sorry, I got distracted.
Anything else you wanna bring up?
I don't know. I was totally unprepared topic wise.
Well, you know what it was too. I got my fill.
You just wanted to bitch about Rand, didn't you?
Well, here's the
really
thing. It's the only thing that came into my I just saw it just before we went on the.
You use Wednesday night to vent your Facebook shit, don't you?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I think that's what this is.
It's not a bad
Facebook argument with somebody, and
no, not today. I mean, I don't get in arguments anymore. I just leave.
Just block a bitch.
I will. I will totally do that. I want to go to Gator Fest. Are people asking for a Gator Fest? Hold on a second here. Everybody wants to do an event, man. I don't understand it. I wish they worked. Oh, by the way, and we're going to talk about this on Friday anyway, but I figure we talk about it now. Did you see the article about the lobbyist fundraising for Clinton and how they all work for the same company in Kasich?
Really?
Yeah, like these lobbyists that do bundling for all of these candidates all work in the same place. And they do the books for them and all that. I mean, it's just... like, I mean, you knew, but like, even, it's so in your face.
Right.
Like, because they have to report
You're getting
this
teabagged
stuff.
with it.
Yeah, you're getting teabagged. Clinton, Bush, Rubio, and Kasich are doing a 4-way teabag on America and being like, what about it? Nothing. That's what you're going to do.
You know what I just thought about? What was it? Eddie, I think, we talking about Mike Tyson putting his dick in the butter tray.
No, I don't remember that one. Oh my gosh, what happened there? How did I not have this one?
Oh, and he's like, what are you going to do? Mike Tyson walks in, puts his dick in the butter tray. I'm Mike Tyson. I'm champion of the world. I'm put my dick in your butter tray.
I think you got to let him. I mean, you're not that butter tray anymore, but you can't stop Mike Tyson from putting his dick in your butter tray.
Right.
Just let him do it and go away. I mean, he's not going to hurt anything really. It's a good story to tell later on. So just go with it. Now
you're like, Mike Tyson put his dick in my butter.
Can you believe that shit? Yeah, Mike Tyson. Yeah, I wouldn't stop that. I gotta tell you.
And that's what they're doing. They at this point, it's so blatant. It's disgusting. Yeah. I can't believe we actually let people get by with that. It's because everybody's watching America's Got Talent and American Idol and like worried about trying to get tickets to the game so they can go sit in a stadium they've already paid for. We should get tickets for free, quite frankly.
It's true.
I mean, the team's pretty much socialized as it is. Why don't we get tickets?
What team are you talking about again?
Any of them. Any pro team.
Well, you know what? I love these soccer ones that are going on now where they're not building new stadiums. They're building...
Yeah.
That's nice.
Although part of that is because Americans don't care about soccer.
Well, that's true, too. It should be the inverse.
You'll get us to vote ourselves into more taxes for football or baseball.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that's the thing. They put this stuff. Now, they put the little tax in for a vote, but they never tell you about all the other costs. About how they give them breaks on all their utilities, power, plumbing, sewage. They've always got cops patrolling at all the games that you pay for. That's salaries coming out of your taxes. But they're not on the streets. They're on duty hanging out at the Bucks game.
Well, look, my biggest problem with it is that it wouldn't go away if it wasn't subsidized. Look, you'd still have stadiums. You'd still have sports teams.
Exactly.
It'd still be there. And, it's so bread and circuses, man. It pisses me off. We don't need to do this. And you're being held hostage by these guys. It's only because you want box seats to the games. Yeah, look, they don't really want box seats to the games, but basically they do, though. They say, well, we make the decision, so we should have a couple seats in that stadium, too.
Yeah.
I know a guy that knows a guy that makes decisions, and, you're sitting in there. They want to wine and dine you because they want you to vote for them to give them more money, so you get free tickets to go.
Oh, yeah.
They don't tell me that doesn't happen, by the way. That's just BS all day long.
Oh, yeah. That's why you get Chris Christie sitting next to the owner team has flown him in.
Yeah. So, screw you guys. Cereal. I just don't want you guys to have to get... Look, build it on your own, man. I don't care.
Which you can. You make plenty of money.
Look, and if we're just calling it clean and we're not giving you any more money and that's all we're going to do, and we're not going to pay back we've already given you... If all we did was say no more, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I wouldn't prefer it, but I would go, okay, all right, if that's what it's going to take. No more, though. You get nothing else. You're on your own. Make it or break it. You're on your own.
Because we're not paying any of the other businesses in this city for their facility.
Yeah. And you got to buy all the land and everything off of us, too, though. The stuff we do own still, you got to buy off of us. That is the part I would make sure the contract is set up. You got to buy the stuff. And look, if it takes time for you to buy it, we don't, we'll give you time. But, we're going to make some interest off of it now, though. We're going to turn a generator, not an actual revenue. The problem is that this doesn't work. And that's the thing. Look, I'm not even arguing whether this is a good idea or a bad idea for the fact of, with the assumption that one would actually help. Look, I'm not going to tell you that what they do actually helps the economy because it doesn't help the economy at the end of the day. It may provide a temporary amount of jobs around a stadium, but those aren't good jobs. Those aren't real good jobs. Not that those people shouldn't... Look, I'm not saying you shouldn't make that money, but we shouldn't subsidize those jobs.
I know people who work for those teams. There's a handful of jobs that are brought in.
Yeah.
Most of them are part-time jobs. You're talking about like the concession people and
8
stuff
days
like
a year,
that.
basically.
Yeah, these are not full-time positions. These are not great wages. And most of their staff are people who come in from all over the country. It's not like they're bringing in local people to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, most of their staff are the players and the coaches and all these guys that they're pulling in from other places. It's not like these teams are hiring a bunch of people in your city to come work for them at great wages. I mean, you've got a handful of people that work for the stadium, basically, and another handful of people that work for the team that are pulled from the local pool of people. The rest, it's pulled from the industry, the local area.
That's true. No, that's very, very true. I mean, yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of them work for the, what do you call it? They work for the stadium does other things other than the football game, so it does make it a little bit better.
Right. You have people that work for the stadium. You're probably people that work for the stadium. You're talking about marketing and like events and the maintenance and janitorial and stuff. Depending on the stadium, probably upwards of 150 tops. But this isn't some like huge economic boom of all these jobs that are coming in. No,
not at all. No.
Where'd your team get their coach? They brought him in from Oklahoma State University or whatever.
Look, and don't get me wrong. Look, when people move to areas, you can't say that there is zero thought process as to not sports team, but if they're a big enough city that they have sports teams, like that does put your city up with a certain amount of prestige, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
But you shouldn't be paying for that, though. Like, that should just be, like, you're big enough to support that, though. But not support it through taxation. Support it through people here that like football that will come to a stadium and hang out and have a good time.
Yeah.
It don't take much.
And if it doesn't work, move it along. That's what happens with a lot of teams.
I really wish that they would do with more teams with Green Bay, though.
Well, that they actually can't anymore.
Like, they're forbidden from doing that, right?
Yeah. They're grandfathered in. That can't ever happen again unless like the NFL gets changed fundamentally, because there are too many rules that prevent that now.
I wish it went back to that. You'd have a lot less problems if it went back to that.
I agree. But you this is one of those things where this with the solidification of that diversifies who gets the money and power over this. And with the way that the NFL rules are written now, that it gets solidified into the hands of one owner.
And they set the rules up like that because they wanted an old boys club.
Yeah.
No, and it sucks. I mean, I would like to see sports teams made and done like that, though. That would be really, really. That would be, if you put sports back within a reasonable level, that'd be a good way to do it. Absolutely, because owners do bad things. Where if you had the people like that, though, they'd hold them very accountable for the people that run things. They'd hold them very accountable for their actions.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It'd be done. Most people that would ever get elected to it would just be stewards of the position anyway, though. Like, they do it because they love it, because they know they can't get rich doing it. Or, like, don't get me wrong, they'll make a lot of money, but like they're not going to make like a lot of money. Like, it's not the ungodly salaries. Don't get me wrong, Green Bay's got to compete, so they have to do some salaries like that. They got caps and stuff, but they'd make far more money if there was no, like, if they just got all the TV money.
Right.
They get doled out the TV money, and they play within a cap on the TV money.
Something else I just thought about, and this is just a thought that's going through my head. I never seem to see as much trouble coming from Green Bay players. We've got like a lot of trouble players in Tampa Bay. That's except when we had Tony Dungy as the coach, because he doesn't tolerate that. Like with Gruden and ever since, we've had some troublemakers on the team. And you get a lot of them throughout the NFL, but Green Bay is one of those cities where I can't really think of any. There's actually a website, and my wife frequents it, tracks criminal charges on NFL players, and it does like a countdown, and it's like one of those like one of those signs. It's been 265 days since a workplace injury. It's one of those signs, but it's like been so many days since an NFL player's been arrested, and I don't think I've ever seen it get higher than 10.
That's awesome.
But it's like it's never a Green Bay player. But there's always somebody getting in trouble. DUI, beating up his girlfriend, prostitution charges. Yeah, I got to remember the website. Hold on. Are you gonna find it?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know how you would do that though. I don't know. I don't know. I don't see like a. I don't know who does. Do you know who does it? Was it like a? You know. The Patriots, it says here is
Like the NFL player arrest clock or something.
If you find it, let me know what it is. Oh, let me go back and put in the word clock then. Maybe that's right. Let's see. CLOC. NFL arrest database, saddlegroundtribune.com. Maybe not, no. Let me know. No big deal.
Yeah, it's hilarious though because she'll be like, got an update, another arrest, 0 days.
Back to starting at 0. Well, I think we'll call it, man. You want to call it?
Yeah, we can call it if you want.
Yeah, let's call it. Ready to go. It'll be time to leave. Friday show will be a bunch of good stuff. We got a lot going on. We probably talked a little bit about. We won't be bringing these issues up a whole lot more. And the other one, maybe the Trump one though, just because it's so crazy.
Yeah,
there's an Onion piece
so much.
Article that was written. It was so dead on. It shouldn't even be allowed on the Onion because it's true. So we'll talk about that on Friday though. This is Alex. We'll see you on Friday. See you.